there a cake in these apples? Welcome to your guardian chef, your angel in the kitchen.
I'm the devil in the kitchen, here to tempt you with shortcuts no Italian would ever approve of.
Today we're starting a new series about desserts made with plenty of fresh apples or pears. We all love desserts, but often they're loaded with sugar, butter, and guilt. So we are going back in time in the Italian countryside where fruit was the main protagonist and the cake batter was just a supporting character. Over the next few days, I will be sharing 5 Italian recipes, each one with its own purpose. We'll find a way to use up overripe pears or apples using only ingredients you probably already have in your pantry. We'll also make the easiest and quickest apple cake you've ever seen. Looking back to tradition, we'll rediscover an old apple cake recipe that was slowly cooked for 3 hours with the fire from the stove during the winter. Our last recipe is a mousse more than a cake, made with no flour, an apple meringue covered with caramel. So subscribe to this channel if you don't want to miss the series. Let's start with the first recipe, a cake made mostly with apples. It was my grandmother's favorite. She found it printed in her agenda from the 1950s, right after the war, when food was still scarce. While my grandmother marked this cake with her handwritten buona, there was no comment on the rest of the menu. In fact, the other recipes on the agenda were not the most appetizing, and we will check those out at the end. I'm curious to know how many of you would eat them. This cake instead was an ingenious solution. It was more apples than cake, making it an achievable dessert because apple trees in the countryside were so plentiful. These are the ingredients you need. The measurements are in the description below, and you can find and print the full detailed recipe on my blog on the link above. Make sure the butter is at room temperature.
I tried it, and it came out too dry.
A dry cake is a common baking problem if you're measuring your dry ingredients with cups instead of using a scale. In Italy, we always weigh our dry ingredients because it's a much more precise measurement, which is especially important for baking. However, with such a large amount of apples in this cake, it is like saying a crumble is too dry. The apples should be pushed down into the batter before baking. As the cake cooks, they will release their natural juices which soften the batter from the inside out. We start by peeling and chopping the apples in large chunks. To prevent them from turning brown, mix them with lemon juice. You can use any apples you like. I usually use Granny Smith's. You're not adding any spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, but it's up to you. You can already start warming up the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 180 degrees Celsius. The batter is very easy to make. Prepare the pan by covering the bottom with parchment paper or coating it with butter and flour. In an electric mixer, beat the butter with the sugar until it is fluffy. Be careful, we are not adding all the butter and sugar, we are leaving some for the topping. Then add to the mixture the eggs one at a time. Make sure they are well combined before adding the next. Mix the flour with the baking powder and the vanilla extract and stir it into the cake batter. Pour the batter into the prepared pan and spread it evenly. Now you can top it with the apples by pushing them into the batter. Devil, if your cake was too dry, it means the apples were not pushed down far enough, so they couldn't do their job. Now we make the topping by mixing the remaining melted butter into the sugar and pour it over the apples. Bake for 1 hour and 10 minutes. Checking if the cake is cooked with a toothpick, it should come out clean. Let the cake cool completely before removing it from the pan. If you didn't add any spices, you will have a creamy center with a delicate taste of vanilla apple. You can enjoy it for the next couple of days. I love it for breakfast. Next on the series, you can check out the next recipe to make with overripe pear in the video right here. But don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the rest of the series of our Italian recipes with apple. So, do you want to know what was the rest of the menu in the agenda? Country-style risotto, probably with garden vegetable, tongue and ham in jelly, tagliatelle soup, interesting, boiled beef and calf head, for dessert, the apple cake. So let me know in the comment below, would you eat tongue and ham in the jelly or the boiled beef and calf head? Well, I do. Yum!